Hey, what's up, everybody? Rob Gill right here, the hallowed halls of the Galleria in Red Bank, New Jersey. And we talk about it all the time. We're going to bring in different people from different walks of life that have success, which, by the way, there's always a common denominator. Success doesn't leave clues. It doesn't show up at that front door. There's no warning or calamity bell. What it is what it is. And it's a daily process and understanding. And today we have the good fortune of being with a 17-year veteran in the Professional Hockey League, also a Stanley Cup winner, the Jim to the D-O-W-D. Jim Dowd is in the house. What's up, brother? How you doing,
Hey,
man?
good to see you guys. Thanks for having me.
Oh, my God. It's a pleasure. Thank you for being here, man.
Yep. No, man, this is awesome. Looking forward to it.
You are just a new person in our world, and I'm loving every bit of it.
Yeah,
I really am.
It was great meeting you guys at the Molly Pitcher a couple weeks ago, and the relationship.
Major shout out to Coach Shempy, right?
Oh, Coach Shempy's great, man. Let's clap it up.
But Jim, for all the good folks, these are entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah.
So the beautiful thing about entrepreneurs is you can or you don't have to graduate college, right? To become successful in business and create your own money, time, and magic, it really comes down to principles and, as we know, patterns and habits and rituals, which I'm excited for them to hear about your story. But it all started for you here.
No, I was born and raised in Brick, New Jersey.
Brick,
New Jersey.
You were how old when they got off the Parkway? Or you weren't born yet?
No, I wasn't even born yet. No, I was just born.
Got it.
So I come from a big Irish Catholic family, one of 7 kids, 5 boys, 2 girls.
And where were they before Brick, though?
Actually, my father was a professional boxer. He was fighting out of Jacksonville, Florida back in the day.
There you go.
And everyone asked, how'd you guys get into hockey? Well, he was fighting out of Jacksonville, Florida, and my oldest brother, Pete and Mike, the old Jacksonville Rockets were in the old Atlantic Coast League. Ever see the movie Slapshot?
Yes.
That was basically that league back then. And
so they played hockey even in Florida?
Yeah, so that's how they got into hockey.
Now, was your dad? I know he was a boxer.
No. My dad comes from a big family, one of 11 kids from Livingston, New Jersey. 10 boys, 1 girl. He was the youngest of 11, all amazing athletes.
Wow.
And the story goes, they moved back up to New Jersey, up to North Jersey.
Now, wait, how did you meet your mom, if you don't mind? I'm going to go slow.
My mom's from Livingston as well. So they grew up.
They knew each other.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
My mom's Audrey Collins, her maiden name. So as Irish as you get, Dowd and Collins.
Oh, boy.
And
I would love to see what went on in that house. The dinner's at 5 o'clock.
You know what's going on.
The brothers fighting with each other. Yeah.
Yeah, and so great story. But my father's youngest of 11, 10 boys, 1 girl. Wow. And then he was done fighting.
That's crazy.
Yep.
So wait, how did he get into boxing?
They, my Uncle Bernie was a great boxer.
Did he fight professional?
They were all great athletes. All great athletes.
Golden Gloves, professional.
My father won the Golden Gloves. 2 years. He was.
Amazing.
He went to Malvern Prep. He's in their Hall of Fame for baseball, football, basketball.
Oh, just an athlete.
Oh yeah. The whole family just athletes.
Incredible. Wow.
My Aunt Mary was married to Ben Garrity.
Mary.
Anybody know Ben Garrity? Hank Aaron called him the best manager he's ever had.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a good sports lineage there.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah.
So they get off the Parkway.
So the story goes, they moved back up. I was born in '68. They moved back up. They're driving down to Brick. My oldest brother Pete and my dad get off at exit 90, the Brick exit. Yeah. They're driving down Chambersburg Road. They see the high school on the right, and less than a quarter of a mile up on the left, they see a hockey rink, and they're like, "Oh, let's move here."
I love that. Sounds like entrepreneurs. That's how we make decisions, right? We're just gonna go with it, and then we jump in with 2 feet, and we learn every day what not to do over and over again.
Yeah, right. So then here I am, born and raised in Brick, New Jersey, and
all right. So early years, grammar school. Listen, a lot of kids. For me, I'm the youngest of 4, right? So between me and the next youngest was 8, 10, and 12 years, and I always remember wow, I wish I had somebody closer in age. Now, somebody might say, yeah, you might not want that. You should enjoy the fact that you were youngest, but for you being a younger brother, where were you in the 7th?
I was the second youngest.
All right, so
it was 20 years difference.
So there's a lot of bloody noses, and you had to work your way through the process. What was those early years like?
Well, a little crazy actually. This guy's been wanting to write a book about my life, but I'm a little hesitant. I started. When my last year I finished in the NHL, I was 40 years old. So 07, 08, 08, 09, this guy came to me. He knows how we grew up.
Yeah.
Grew up with nothing, basically all that. Last count, we lived in 12 different houses in Brick, so you could figure out what was going on. But it was all in Brick. But we had our baseball bats, our hockey sticks. Sports was great, but everything else was a total crap show.
Was it like, how long are we going to be in this house? Did you feel did you get to that place?
But it was...
that's like a survival mindset, though,
yes, right? Totally. And, my parents were great people, just,
money
life
just didn't
hit them
make
hard.
sense.
Yeah. And But it was amazing. Always lived in Brick, you know, and I mean, I can go deep into the story.
Was
but
there like
no
did
time
the
here,
community love you guys?
Oh
like,
yeah,
like,
Brick. It was
like,
old school back then. It was old school Brick. There, you know, the woods everywhere. There's like 4 neighborhoods, but you know, I mean, like I said, hockey's always been the most expensive sport. I almost didn't play, but back then in the day, the Brick Hockey Club, it was great. Everybody brought their old equipment back for tryouts.
Oh, wow.
And if I needed your shin guards, I took your shin guards. If your brother Johnny needed, you know, his shoulder pads, you know, you shared equipment, you know, so everyone could, you know, sort of play.
But it was a grateful mindset, though, right?
Yeah. And it was funny back then. If someone had an Ozai T-shirt, you knew they had money.
Yeah. It was fake ones too, though.
Yeah, right.
Sew it on. You know?
Yeah. Izod, Kazod, or some shit.
Yeah, right.
I saw some fake one. It wasn't an alligator. It was like a giraffe or some shit.
But no, man, I loved it. It was. But like I said, it's one of those. I had an amazing time.
Yeah.
Like I said, we got to our sporting events on time. Baseball,
so
football,
grammar school,
hockey.
were you like two sport? Like what?
Yeah, I played everything. We played every sport. You know what I mean?
Even high school, I think you played both.
High school, my freshman year, I played soccer, hockey, baseball. Then I played hockey and baseball all the way through.
Were you a student? Like honestly,
I was a decent student.
Was it natural for you? Was it?
No. It was just, you know.
Did you apply? Like, did you know you had to do it?
Yeah, I did enough to get by. Let's put it that way. I didn't, you know, I never really applied myself in the classroom, but I had no problem getting by.
So between you and your brothers, good athletes, you're a senior now, having a really good hockey career, right? Which, by the way, Brick and hockey is like, you know, running east looking for a sunset. Doesn't really make sense, right?
No,
like it's not a
not in the country,
world
in the world. No,
yeah.
Back
it's
then,
like, it's an outlier.
Yeah, like listen, I'm 53 years old. Back then, if you weren't from Minnesota, Massachusetts, Chicago, or Michigan, they didn't even look at you.
So tying back to the great Jim Dowd, right? Let's get into that. Even if it feels weird when I say that to you, but like the fact that it would be normal to get a scholarship, great. But wait a minute, hold on. There's something special brewing here, and one college really recognized it, right?
Yeah.
About who you were.
Yeah, because I tell people all the time to this day when I, you know, mentor kids and all that kind of stuff, like, listen, one person could change your life forever.
That's right.
No matter what it is.
Sean Callaghy.
Yeah, one person could change your life forever. And for me, that was Frank Angelo. And so back then, when I was a sophomore in high school, I broke all the records, you know, high school hockey and all that. And then I went my junior year, going into my senior year, went to play a tournament up in Boston. That's where all the great, and I finished top 10 in scoring there.
Was it like a 3-game tournament?
No, it was a month-long tournament.
So
it was
Got
it. And still nobody but one guy, Frank Angelo, took a chance on me at Lake Superior.
Did your family notice something was happening? Like I always like to get deep in the behind the scenes. Like, was there like, hey, there's something going on with Jim? Like, there could be something. Was there any of that talk at any point?
Oh yeah. Well, listen, I had it was a pretty funny story. Like,
locally, at least. I mean, was there?
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I had all these prep schools, you know, and I grew up in Brick. You know, Brick is all just blue collar, you know. And back then, the travel teams were the Rockets up in North Jersey, the Little Flyers down there. Those are the ones that had all the money, and they recruited kids from everywhere. You know, they were recruiting me, but they'd call. My dad would say, you know, F off, he's not going anywhere. Yeah.
Did you want to play though for those teams?
I didn't care.
All right.
I was just a kid having fun. I didn't. Didn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
You know, I had all these prep schools wanted me to go there. You know, but I just stayed right in Brick. Played local Brick hockey club, Brick High School for the legendary coach Bob Oriema, who's like a second father to me. Yeah. And you know, it just all of us, it sort of worked out. So, and I'm a firm believer. Listen, if you just do things, play sports because you love it, you're gonna. And if you have some talent, you'll figure out how to get good. Yeah. You'll figure it out. I mean, I became a rink rat. You know, we had nothing, but I always had a bucket of pucks, and I used to shoot pucks every day. Sometimes 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 2 hours, 3 hours. But every day I did a little bit.
I love that. So for the kids out there that are watching this, right, and that are coming up 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th grade, what is your message to them that if they love it, but they could be in the struggle right now? What would you tell them?
I tell all these kids, because I still coach, I still help out the local youth organization. The only thing that matters is working hard and being a good teammate. Work hard and be a good teammate. And if you want something bad enough, you know, don't miss practice. Yeah. You know, just be consistent. Get on your team. You don't have to do a ton of extra stuff. You know what I mean? But, you know, people get a little crazy with that. You know, a little extra training here or there is not bad. But, you know, just work hard and be a good teammate. You want to be known as the hardest working player on your team, student in class, and just be a good person. Yeah. And be determined, man. If there's a ball, you're going to get it. If there's a puck, you're going to win that battle. Yeah. You know, and don't compare yourself to anybody, man. That's a bad thing going on in this world right now.
How did you overcome fear when it set in? If you even experienced it, like uncertainty or fear, like
you know,
as you were coming up.
I really didn't have any, you know. I just, you know, I remember when I broke all the records in my sophomore year, then my junior year. You know, people were talking, oh, he's not that good, you know, whatever.
Okay.
And I didn't even pay attention to that. I'm like, whatever, man. I just love playing hockey.
How did
I didn't
you
really
ignore
care.
it though? Like
I just sort of ignored it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then when we played that team or whatever, I just go out and score a bunch of goals. You know?
So you didn't ignore it. You kept it in the back of your
Yeah, I
head.
know it. But like,
Ammunition.
What about?
But I just absolutely loved, and the thing was, I loved practice.
Oh, you did.
I loved going to practice.
Got it.
Like I loved the conditioning drills at the end of practice, man. I want to come in. I wanted to be the
So
best.
you wanted to compete, yeah.
Oh yeah, man. I wanted to come in first at those drills.
How did you survive success as it began to happen at each level? Because I know we're going to get to what happened early. When you were 27.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
Because that adjustment was incredible.
Yeah.
Was there earlier times in your life where you had to do something like that? Where you achieve something and then boom.
No, not really. And you know what? Looking back on it, like I actually went my junior year. I went to play junior hockey up in Canada.
Yep.
I went to try out, and I was up there for like 2-3 weeks or a month while school was still going on back here. My dad was so pissed he wanted me to come back home, you know, and I wasn't in school yet. And then I didn't make the one team, so I got on a bus, went, over to Ontario, all the way across Ontario.
So you didn't make the team.
I didn't make the team, and I went to another team.
And this was your first experience with Canadian players?
Yeah. And then I got a little homesick, whatever. And then, and then actually, this is probably illegal now, but, my high school coach paid for a bus ticket to get me back home. And I was like, no big deal. And I just went back home, played my senior year, you know what I mean? And got a full ride to Lake State that year.
But wait, hold on. In your head, were you thinking of Canadian players?
No.
As you were coming into college?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all. Not at all. And that didn't even, you know what? I was a little homesick, to tell you the truth. You know what I mean?
Got it.
And so I came back home and just went right back to normal routine.
Awesome. So, Dave, did you want to add anything?
Yeah,
Did you have any
Well,
questions?
when you went up to Canada, you were playing with those
Yep.
guys. Did you feel out of your league, or did you feel like you were right in there? Like your skill set was the exact same, because those guys are real deal. Right?
Yeah, they were the real deal. I was fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the one team, whatever, they didn't want me or whatever. And I hopped on a bus by myself and went to and was living with another family. It was bizarre.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why I was getting a little homesick, And then, like, whatever. But then I came back home and felt good again, and just that was the rest is history.
So, like, I'm just picturing people listening, and this is my own thought. Like, you make it just sound like it's so easy.
I know.
But to become like a professional hockey player statistically is like probably like getting bitten by a shark, electrocuted, and then hitting the
hit by
lotto
lightning.
the same day.
Yeah,
right? So, like, somewhere along the line, and I love the story you shared with me the other day. When you were in the league.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to like play within the space. I guess the way you grew up, you had no time to think.
No, not at all.
And you had no like your
Just
life
survival
was
mode.
yeah. And sometimes folks, like, if you're not thinking too much, I think thinking could be detrimental to your health. Being able to kind of stay focused on the day and the daily grind, and that's what I'm hearing right now, Jim.
Yep.
There was a lot of that going on, and you had good support system and people that loved you, that were around you all the time. And you were excelling at a high level. Going into college, you didn't have, the place that you thought you were going to go, I would assume, or there was one place that really wanted you. What was that like during the recruitment process?
Oh, there wasn't a recruitment process. One school.
Yeah. So folks, this was like the leading scorer in New Jersey, correct?
Yeah, I broke the national scoring record.
The national scoring record
for high school hockey.
High school hockey out of New Jersey, and there was one offer.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And that was Lake Superior State University.
Wow.
Up in the Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. If you don't know where it is, check it out. Small school, 2,800 students. And my recruiting trip, I flew from Newark to Detroit, and then you got to get on like a 6-seater to go up to the Sault.
Like a horseback. Like a horse.
And I got stuck in Detroit for 6.5 hours because of snowstorm.
Oh, boy.
I finally get up to the Sault. It's a blizzard, but I was like, this place is great, man.
You loved it?
And then I was like, we get free sticks. I'm like, I'm in. I'm coming
then
here.
all of a sudden you had like real equipment.
Yeah, I didn't. I was oblivious to what was happening. Actually, you know what I mean? And
it was a full ride.
And they offered me a full ride, and I didn't even know that there was anything else. You know what I mean? I didn't know you can get a 10%, 20%. I thought a scholarship was a scholarship. I was oblivious to anything. I knew nothing. I wasn't even planning on playing college hockey. Again,
no way.
I tell people just play sports, do whatever because you love it, and be into it and be passionate. And if you have talent and you work hard, you'll get good. And listen, if you're good enough, you're gonna get found.
When did you sign the deal? Was it after the season? Senior year?
It was my senior year. Yeah.
Like
back
September?
then it was different because you couldn't talk to anybody till after your junior year. It's not like it is now. So I think I signed it. I don't even know. November, December.
Before the season.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
during
it
the
was during
season?
the season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
They flew me out, and
So you knew you were going to college at that point? You got a
Yes,
full ride?
yes, got a
What did
full
that
ride.
summer look like going into?
So that summer was the summer 1987 NHL draft. My college coach calls me up. This is a great story. You'll love this one.
Can't wait to hear it.
So he says, Jimmy, you're probably going to get drafted. I'm like, what? So
No scholarship except for one school, but
one
now you're
school.
going to get
Yeah.
drafted.
So I was like, okay. I said, and then I didn't tell anybody this. I said, I said to myself, the only team I didn't want to get drafted by was the New Jersey Devils. Listen to this though, because I thought it would have been a charity pick. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
And back then there were 12 rounds in the draft.
Okay.
So I thought, okay, the only team I don't want to get drafted by is the Devils because, it'll be a charity pick.
Yeah.
So then the draft comes, and I'll never forget. Marshall Johnson calls me about 5:30.
No, what round?
He tells me I got drafted in the 8th round.
Okay.
So
that like? What does that mean?
That
though,
means
as a
you
high
never.
school?
That means you're not going to make it.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
But right off the bat, it clicked. I said, because I didn't tell anybody what I just told you. I didn't want to get drafted, but I said right off the bat, I always turn everything into a positive as fast as I can. I said, oh, great, 8th round. At least it's not the 12th. It's not a charity pick.
Sure.
That was my mindset.
Yeah.
So then I proceeded to
Was
go
it
to
the Devils?
Yeah, the Devils.
Okay.
Drafted in the 8th round.
So
and,
when you get drafted, though, do they send
no?
you like
So
a letter,
in
fruit basket?
well, they call you up, and in the NHL it's different. So they have your rights all through college.
Okay.
You know how baseball, if you get drafted, you don't.
Did you sign anything when you?
No.
Okay.
You don't get. They just have your rights.
Okay.
So they had my rights all through college, and they can track you.
Okay.
So Marshall Johnson, who's director of player personnel, called me up. Told me they drafted me in the 8th round. I was like, this is great. And then it was huge news. All over.
Locally or nationally?
Yeah, locally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you went to a really small school. Did they have a history of being good at hockey?
They had
when
just,
you got there.
Yeah, they were just starting to get good.
So was there a great coach? Is that what it was?
Yeah, Anzalone. He built that program up.
By the way, folks, and that's the other thing. Like coaching is so important. I'm gonna just real quick. If you look at Bobby and Danny Hurley, whose dad is the greatest high school basketball coach in history, arguably one of the greatest coaches in history, and the system that he created had produced 7 NBA first-round draft picks. I want to say 6 national titles, 142 Division I scholarships, not including Division II or 3. But the system and the level of competition, like those kids had to show up, and they were great players in their own right. But it's the system that led them to the next system. One system worked, the other one didn't. Was this the first time you were in an outstanding hockey system compared to where you were before that? Like, how good was the system that you stepped into besides how great your work ethic was?
Yeah, I mean, Frank Anzalone, listen, we were up in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. Everybody, just take a look where that is. At 2,800 students, we were in the same league as Michigan State, Michigan, Ohio State, Miami of Ohio, Bowling Green, and we thumped them my 4 years there.
Really?
Like, this guy.
Now, how unlike is that?
It's unheard of because what he did was he went and did his recruiting. He found me from New Jersey that turned out to be, I wasn't a blue chip recruit, but I turned out to be a blue chip player at the end of the day. He found, Tim Breslin from, the second tier guys that he made us. It was like us against the world. You know what I mean? And our mindset was like,
what was his?
He was all about hard work, discipline. He was Bobby Knight.
Yeah.
He did the stuff that Bobby Knight did.
Yeah.
He did all that stuff.
Did he throw chairs?
Oh, he was great, man. I personally like guys like that better.
Did he ever tackle anybody?
Oh man, he's we come home from our road trips.
Is he still alive? Like, do you still have a relationship?
Yeah. Coach Anzalone, man, Frank Anzalone, he's the
Is
best.
he a guy? Yeah.
He's the one that built that place into a national. Him and Jeff Jackson.
So when you were a freshman, though, right now you went to a school, got a full ride to a really great hockey division, like ACC basketball, Big East.
This was the CCHA back then.
Got it. How quick did you realize something special was happening?
Well, you know what? The year before, we didn't know this. Well, we knew that they got upset, but my senior year of high school, and I went right from high school right to college.
Yeah.
Which is unheard of too in hockey. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But
please tell me.
So my senior year of high school, they played Ohio State in the first round of the playoffs, and they got upset. And
Who
they
did
lost.
Ohio State?
No, Lake Superior. The year before I was coming in.
Yeah.
So
they were already good though.
They were on the cusp, but they got upset in the first round.
Yeah.
So when we came in that next year, we had 9 freshmen.
Oh.
We had 12 freshmen, 9 played regular.
So
but
good
right from day
9.
But right from day one, it was like the military.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I loved it. Like, I needed that. It was great. Like, I played way better for guys that were like, get your head out of your ass, that right in your face and all that.
So if you didn't have him as a coach, you think you would have made the NHL?
I don't know. Might have been a little bit different. But even my high school coach, legendary Bob Oriema, Coach Oriema.
Yeah.
He was a guy that would,
So you just had the right
he was a guy that
coaches.
would get in your face and, grab you by the mask and, do all this. I played better for guys like that.
Got it.
The players, coaches, it's not their fault. I just played better for that, for those guys.
Yeah. Even in the NHL?
Oh, yeah. I love those guys that get crazy,
Yeah.
Frank Angelo and just.
So freshman year, you guys are military.
Yep.
You guys step in. How was that first year? How'd you guys do?
Yeah, we won the national championship.
Did you really?
Which was unheard. Yeah, it was
What
unheard.
was that like coming back home?
Oh, it was incredible, and we were the first national championship ice hockey team to go visit a president. So we got to visit Reagan. We won the national championship, and we just took the country by storm.
Did you dominate the whole run?
Well, no. We actually, because you always go through some adversity, no matter what, right? So back then, the Division II winner, which was Merrimack, they got a bid for the NCAA tournament.
Okay.
And then to go to the final Frozen Four, it's called Final Four in hockey, the Frozen Four. It was best two game series, total goals, and Merrimack came out to play us at Lake State. They beat us the first night, 3-2, and we were in shock, But then we thumped them the next night, 7-2. Yeah. And then we went into the NCAA Frozen Four. We played Maine in the first game, and Minnesota played St. Lawrence in the second. And it was supposed to be Maine and Minnesota.
Did
in
you
the finals.
dominate
So
Maine?
this is the start. So we're playing Maine, and routine. We had the same routine the whole year long in every game. My line went out third, no matter what. Before I stepped on the ice in the semifinal game, it was 2-0.
Oh,
minute and a half into the game, it was 2-0 Maine.
Wow.
And we came back, settled in, and beat them 6-3.
Okay.
And then St. Lawrence upset Minnesota 3-2, and we played St. Lawrence and we beat them in overtime.
National overtime championship. Yeah, that must have been intense.
Yeah, it was great.
Dave, you have any questions?
National championship or Stanley Cup?
State championship in high school. Actually.
Is that right? Oh, I love that. That's amazing. That is amazing.
Tell me
why? Yeah.
No, it was great. You know what? Again, listen, they're all amazing.
No,
but I grew up. I grew up in Brick, and we were just
the whole town.
And that was back when there was one state champion.
Oh yeah. So in New Jersey, folks, there's 17 different state championships for one sport, right? Parochial this, group that, section, group, section, group, section.
So my junior year, my freshman year,
who did you guys beat?
Del Barton.
Oh yeah, powerhouse.
It was
power, all the money, everything you can think of.
And that's us from Brick. It was like us against the world, like Lake State. It sort of followed me around, right? And
did you beat? Was it? Did you down?
No. It was 2-1. We beat them 2-1. You know what I mean?
Did you steal it?
But it was,
yeah.
Our goalie was unbelievable. You know what I mean?
But 40 shots on goal.
But it was amazing though, because our big rival back then it was Brick, and then you had CBA, but everyone else was up north. You had Seton Hall.
How was CBA? Were they?
Oh, they won they were always good.
Yeah.
Always a powerhouse.
Yeah.
But our big rival was it was Brick, CBA, St. Joseph Montville, Del Barton, and Montclair, the public school that was all great up there.
Yeah.
And
amazing.
But it was great.
So you win the state championship in 87, the national championship in 88. What happened in 89, 90, 91?
We were top 4 in the country.
Did you win it again?
My senior year, and actually the Devils tried to get me to sign after my junior year and leave college early.
Okay, so now you became a player. Now you've gone from boom to you've elevated within that system.
So after my sophomore year, we lose to Harvard in the quarterfinals. My junior year, we lose to Colgate in the quarterfinals, and the Devils tried to get me to sign after my junior year. But it took me less than a second. I'm like, I want to go back. I loved college. I wanted to graduate.
And college was a blast.
And I wanted to try to win another national championship. I go back. I had a great year. We went 28 straight games without a loss, and we got upset in the quarterfinals. It was brutal.
By who?
It was brutal. By Clarkson.
Did they win it all?
No.
Did they the bed the next game?
Yeah. But it was unbelievable. But I ended up had a great year. Graduated, ended up signing for more money anyways, and still started in the minors. What year did you sign? What was your rookie year?
87, 91?
91, 92 was my rookie year.
And that means the minors too?
How does that work? I started in the minors, and I still started in the minors. So I got
dominate right away?
Yeah, I got one game up my first year. Was leading scorer in the minors. Got one game up my second year, leading scorer in the minors. My third year, I finally got up.
So when you're in the minors, what's that grind like? Is it close to the finish line? Is it like
you know what? It's like you think you're never gonna get there, but you're right there.
Yeah.
It all depends what mindset you're
mental.
And it goes back to what helped me throughout my career is I just love being on a team.
Yeah,
going back to what you said about kids, just get on a team, kids, and just enjoy it. Don't worry about yesterday. Don't worry about next year. All these people and parents, and a lot of it comes from the parents. They're worrying about next year already. What's going on? Just enjoy right now. Get on a team. If you get cut from a team, go to the next lower team, get on that team, and make it the best team you can.
So this is going to be real controversial, what I'm going to say right now. If anyone's watching this, because they get mad when I only point it out once in a while. What about the parents that leave their kids back on purpose?
Ooh.
For the glory.
That's funny because someone asked my wife that about my oldest son, and she's like, "What? Are you kidding me? He was ready to go into kindergarten when he was 3. There's no way I'm keeping him back." You know,
my sophomore is 15, and like there's like 17-year-old sophomores.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what
crazy.
I mean? Like
I know
that are driving. You know, and like
the bottom line is nothing matters till they get hair on their armpits anyway. You know what I mean?
That's right.
It doesn't matter. But the point is to you kids out there, everybody, chances are, unless you're that 1%er of the 1%ers, have been cut.
Yes.
And you just keep going, keep crying. Yeah. Only play sports, do it because you love it, and it'll all work out.
Yes.
There's a place to play for everybody.
Yes, I agree with that.
You know, don't ever give up on that Division I dream, those pro dreams. Don't let anybody ever tell you you can't do it. You know, but eventually, you know, you work hard, you'll get to the highest level you should be at.
Yes.
If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. That's the only way you can look at things.
Yeah, awesome. I love that. So now we're in the and you broke through, right?
Yeah. So
now it's like, are you married at this point? Like, what does your world look like?
I didn't get married until I was 28 years old.
Okay, so you steady girlfriend, or you like in your early years in the NHL? You having fun? Like, what is the nightlife? Like, what is?
Yeah, the minor leagues is great. Minor leagues, you can get in a lot of trouble because
do you have money in the minor leagues?
Yeah, well, listen, you go from no money, and even if you're making $50,000, you have money in your
pocket.
But is it like we have money in your pocket? It's like without school, and it's great. I mean, you're done in minor leagues. You're done every day by noon. So chances are you're going to the local bar.
Where were you? Like, what was?
I was in Utica, New York. I played my first 2 years. I played in Utica, New York.
So you're definitely at the local bar.
Yeah, and it was great because
did everybody love you up there?
Oh, it was great, man. Yeah,
like paid for your drink.
There's nothing but
food
hockey. Yeah.
It's amazing.
You know, so it was great, and you live with a bunch of guys. So the best bar in town, you know, the Finger Bullet was called the Finger Bullet, and there's a parking lot. Then right next to it, there was a White House. Next to that was a Brown House. My first year there, we lived in the Brown House.
Then you made it to the White House,
and then we made it to the house closer the next year. But it was a great place, man. And upstate New York's got the best bars.
So let me
great
ask you this:
boxes, great video, pinball machines, all that
kinds
stuff.
of fun. Yeah. So what
food.
about your relationship count? Like the relationships you've developed over the years, like through your hockey journey, especially during that time. Is there people still in your world?
Oh yeah, guys that that I was in their weddings, they're in mine from the minor leagues. It's a bond. It's being on a team.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you're at, what level. It's team. This is your team right here, the Epic team. You know, I mean, no matter what, you got your family's your team, where you work your team.
Yeah.
Everyone's on a team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what it's about, getting along with all different people, and you make friendships. And, you know, you know that at the end of the day, if you haven't talked to them for a couple of years, you call them up. It's like you were hanging out with them yesterday.
Yeah. Everybody knows each other's
a couple of those
patterns.
guys in the minors, I was in both their weddings. They were in mine. You know?
And what about so now you made it to the league. You're in the NHL, like you're there, and this was 3 years in the minors.
Two full years in the about 2.5 years in the minors.
So what was that first like? Wow. You're playing an NHL game. What was that like?
Well, my first year, I got called up my first game against the Boston Bruins. It was amazing. You know, I flew in the private plane from Utica down to New Jersey, and I just got the one game, but it was pretty incredible.
What did that feel like?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
But obviously, I didn't get it yet, right?
What did you get though? I'm interested.
It just didn't.
If you could go back to that day, what would you do differently? If anything,
I don't even know. It just I obviously wasn't ready full time.
Physically, or
just the whole ball of wax.
Got it.
So then I go back, was leading scorer. I come back to training camp. They have a great training camp. Get sent down again.
Yeah.
Only got one game up my second year.
Got it.
Still I played okay that game. You know, leading scorer again my second year. But then my third year I came in, and that's when I felt I'm ready. Like when you know, there's a difference between thinking and knowing. But when you know you're ready, like you're like F this, like I'm ready.
Yeah.
Had an amazing training camp, and they were loaded at center, right?
Got it.
So, and this is how things work, you know.
And was it like 94, 95?
This is 93, 94.
And they were like starting to get to the cup finals.
Yes. So that turned out to be my rookie year.
Okay.
But the story goes, I get the last day, there's like 8 lines left in training camp. And, you know, you look at the board and you're like, don't read into it, you know, but I'm on like the 8th line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they weren't planning on, I was probably planning on getting sent down. And this is another thing that I got to tell people. One game, you always got to be ready for your chance. Because if you're not ready, when that chance pops up, when the opportunity comes up, you're done. Wow. And I just stayed focused. I stayed mentally ready. Back then, we had about 10 to 12 exhibition games. And the first 6, 7 games, I still didn't play an exhibition game. Yeah. And I had that sense I might be getting sent down, but I'm going to be ready just in case. So we're playing against.
So being ready was a film study? Was there like mental
just
stuff?
Mental ready. Like when if I'm getting in a game here, I'm doing some. Like I'm playing. Yeah. So, and I was on a line with, Ben Hankinson and Brian Sullivan, who they were pegged to go to the minors for sure. And probably so was I. So we're playing against the Rangers. It's like the 8th exhibition game. I finally get in, had a great game.
Would describe a great game.
Everything went well. I was on cue, everything. I was just all around great player that game. I stayed up the whole rest of the training camp, had a great rest of the training camp, but I was still getting sent down on the last day right before the season started. And it was Lou Lamoriello, who's one of the best general managers in history of sports, and Jock Lemaire, one of the best coaches. He's the one that turned the Devils organization around. And I'm sitting there with them, and Larry Robinson, who's one of the all-time Hall of Famers, right? And I'm like, guys, I'm ready. What's going on? And then they were talking, and then I said, listen.
Wait, how'd you get there to sit with them though? What was going on?
No, because they're in the meeting to send me down to the minors.
Oh, you were in that meeting.
I was in the meeting. They're sending me down to the minors. Okay. And I just had to get my I had to get my say, and I'm like, I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? And then I reiterated to them, listen, guys, you don't have to worry. I'm not going to go down with a bad attitude. I'm just letting you know, I'm ready. Yeah. And I guess I must have said too much. And then Jock Lemaire in his broken French, broken English, he's Jimmy. He goes, listen, me and Larry, we can play in exhibition games. He was at the point he was making to me was like exhibition to regular season is night and day. Yeah. He go, you know what I mean? So it was pretty funny that he had to say that. I just wanted to get my point across to them that I'm ready to play. Yeah. But I reiterated, listen, guys, I'm not going to go down with a bad attitude. You don't have to worry about that. So the story gets better. So I go down, I get sent down to the minors.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah, I got sent down to the minors, And
did you feel like you had an impact in that meeting though?
Yeah, 100%. Okay, I just wanted to let them know I'm ready. I felt comfortable. I felt comfortable
to say
with Slava Fetisov, with Scott Stevens, with Riche, with Lemieux, all these guys that are
legends.
Been in the league, and unbelievable players. I arrived. This is what I said. Yeah. I go down to the minors. I tear it up. Right.
That's like me with Sean and Chris. I'm like, I could do it.
Game on.
So I get sent down to the minors. I get called up.
Like a week later, 2, 3?
Yeah, about a month into the season or whatever. I'm leading score on the minors.
So there was time ticking.
Oh, yeah. So I get called up to play in Quebec, back when the Quebec Nordiques had a team. And I get called up. My first game that year, I played great, scored my first NHL goal.
Awesome.
It was awesome. And then I was up for like a month and a half, and then all of a sudden I got sent back down again. And I'm like, son of a I had like a point a game, close to a point a game, but you know what? They were loaded. They had some veterans, and I was on a 2-way contract, and they were really good. So I get sent back down. So
did you want to get traded? Like, were you ever
no,
looking for that?
I wasn't thinking about that.
Got it. Okay.
I went down, and that was my team, the Albany River Rats, right? I go back down. The story gets great. So we're sitting there, and we're out, all night, whatever. And the coach, our phone's ringing. Phone's ringing from like 6:30 in the morning to 8 o'clock, and no one's getting up to answer it. None of us. Like, nobody. Finally, right? For an hour and a half straight, we get up. Robbie Fatorik, who's the head coach down there. I look up Robbie Fatorik. He's great. Robbie goes, Jimmy, what the are you doing? He goes, you're getting called up. I'm like, oh, all right. So I get called up. I fly into Pittsburgh, and that year the Devils hadn't lost 2 games in a row, more than 2 games in a row once. So they're playing Pittsburgh back to back. They're in Pittsburgh that night, and apparently I wasn't supposed to be the one called up. The GM of the Albany River Rats, John Weisbrod, was fighting with Lou Lamoriello. He wanted to bring a kid called David Emma up. Okay. He said, no, bring Dowd up. He's playing the best right now. They were going back and forth, and Lou's like, hey, he's not going to play anyway. We just need a body. Yeah. Because Bernie Nichols' son had passed away. Bernie Nichols, his son, his 1-year-old son died. So Bernie had to fly to California. Listen, the story gets better. Bernie's a close friend of mine to this day. He flew out there. So, and Luce, after arguing with Weisbrod, said, fine, bring Dowd. He's not going to play anyway. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's just up for a body in case something happens. Right. So I go into Pittsburgh, and, pretty much, I was hungover. Had the amazing, it was a morning skate. It's called the morning skate. I had an amazing practice. Like, everything just went perfect.
You were in the zone.
But they lost that night, and coach was pissed off. We play Pittsburgh back in Jersey the next night. He puts me in the lineup. I get a goal and 3 assists, and the rest is history.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Just like that. And then that was, rookie year.
Whose job got taken?
Corey Millen was.
Did he ever come back?
Well, he was there, not after that year.
No, like in the league, I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Got it. Okay.
But, it was amazing. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Just because if they win that game
And
in Pittsburgh, I don't even
run
play.
with it?
Oh,
I
ran with it. Yes, I
like,
ran with it the rest of the season,
were you
93, 94.
crushing?
Oh, yeah. And that's the year we lost to the Rangers in the conference finals.
Wow.
Then the next year.
That was the game 7.
Yeah.
The one with Messier. Got it.
Yep. And then the next year we win the cup.
Yeah.
So there I am. I signed 2 nice contracts, won a Stanley Cup on top of the world. And then.
And what year, how old were you? 26, 27?
26. Yep. Yeah.
And then,
about 26.
Talk about adversity.
Yeah. And then the rest is so that's why I'm so passionate about nutrition and hockey. My 2 favorite things is so. I signed 2 nice contracts, win a Stanley Cup on top of the world, and all of a sudden I got sent back to the minors at 27 years old.
And why? What happened?
I just wasn't, I got.
But you didn't know this was like you didn't think.
I got traded from the Devils to Vancouver, and
but wait, I forgot about it. I didn't realize that. What was that like for you?
They say your first trade is the toughest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it was pretty weird. So I got traded,
Were you
and went out there. It was a totally different. The coach, Rick Lee, who's a great guy, was a player's coach, but nothing like where I came from.
Yeah.
And I'm not blaming him. It was my fault. My mindset wasn't right at all and didn't play well.
Were you homesick out there kind of thing?
No, not really. I
didn't
wasn't in the right mindset.
Got it.
You know what I mean? And they gave me a chance, and it just didn't work out. And then I got freaking sent to the Islanders. I was with the Islanders for 2 weeks. And then I got sent back to the minors officially.
Wow.
And then that's when my wife and I.
As an Islander?
No, as Edmonton Oiler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it was a third trade.
No. That's good. So after the Island, what the hell's going on here? So anyway, long story short, a couple different places, and I'm in the Edmonton Oilers organization.
Got it.
And 27 years old, playing in Hamilton, Ontario. Went from the penthouse to the outhouse. Again, I had signed 2 nice contracts, won a Stanley Cup on top of the world. And that's when my wife, about a month and a half into the season, was looking into this holistic way of living and wanted to get as healthy as she could be. I said, listen, honey, I'll try anything. We had all these teams from Europe calling us. We could have went there and made great money. I said, listen, let's give it 1 more year. We're only 27. We'll be 28 years old. If we don't make it back, we can go to Europe, play for 10 years, and make some good money.
Yeah.
She goes, no problem. So she did all this research, found this doctor, James Dowd, eat right for your blood type. I said, listen, I'll try anything. I go, somehow we're getting back to the NHL.
So you knew at that point you needed nutrition and working out.
Well,
I'm
just trying anything at this point.
Was it because you were losing energy?
No.
Like,
and
what was going on?
I thought back to the guys that I played with on that Stanley Cup team. They were all shredded. And I guess I relied on my talent all the way up.
Got it.
I worked hard, but I totally relied on my talent.
You.
And then I was like, okay, I got to really do something different here.
Yeah.
So we get into that, and it's here's how life works. So she called this guy up, and it was a 3-month wait. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're like, no problem. We'll make an appointment for 3 months. But if anything cancels, we'll go in early. 3-4 days later, a couple openings, we go in.
Yeah.
I changed everything. I went from 192 pounds down to 182 to between 182 and 184. Cut out all the BS. I got a trainer. I got up at 5:30 in the morning, worked out from 6 to 7:30, got my head out of my rear end. Ended up, long story short, spending the next 12 straight years without a day in the minors.
Wow.
From 28 to 40.
And there was just clarity? I
was, and any adversity that hit like that, it just like, boom, I just turned it right around.
Now, who did you play with?
So I got back up that next year with the Edmonton Oilers, had a great year.
Yeah.
And then the Minnesota Wild came in. They picked me up in the expansion draft, which I knew that was going to happen. Played there for 4 years.
Okay.
Was
Minnesota?
awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. And then played for Montreal, Chicago.
Did you come back to Jersey?
Yeah. And then Colorado, and the Devils brought me back at 39 years old for a year. No, 06, 07.
Was that the Stanley Cup?
No. 95 was the Stanley Cup.
What was the last one they won? What year was
03.
that? I was at that game.
Yep. 03. So they brought me back in 06, 07 for a year when I was 39. And then, the story keeps getting better and better. So Lou wants me to start working with him after that season, but I'm like, Lou, I want to try to keep playing.
Yeah.
So we had an agreement. He's like, okay, let me know what's out there. So I knew that the Flyers tried to trade for me the year before, so I didn't even use an agent or anything. I just called up the GM. I got his number and called Paul Holmgren up. I said, listen.
Oh, wow.
That's why I was with you around long enough. Right?
I said, listen, I said, I didn't call him Homer at the time, but, that's his nickname. I said, hey, Paul, I know you tried to trade for me. I want to come play for you next year.
Yeah.
He goes, all right, great. He goes, listen, this is what we're doing. We're over cap space, and we're looking for a guy like you, a journeyman centerman that could do a little bit of everything. You know, we got a young team, so he goes, listen, I'll tell you what. If you come to training camp and do what you do, I'll make room for you. Yeah. So I had to go to training camp without a contract. So I told,
which is unheard of, right?
Yeah. So I told Lou this, and Lou goes, whoa, hold on. He goes, whoa, don't do anything. You know, because he doesn't want me to go from the Devils to the Flyers. So it was like 3 weeks, and I had to give Holmgren a chance. And Lou said, Jimmy, you know, there's nothing we can really do. You know what I mean? All the best, but you know, doors always open here. Yeah. I go down to Philly, make the team at a training camp, and we had an amazing year. Oh yeah, great camp. Had an amazing year. We went to the conference finals, and I thought I'd squeak another year out at 41, but no big deal. But it was a good ride. It was a great ride, you know.
Did you feel during that ride that was the last ride? Like,
yeah, well, looking back on it, that summer, I maximized. Believe me, I maximized. You know? Yeah. And there was guys that I had played with that retired a year or two before, or 3 years before, thinking they're ready to retire, and they told me, like, my last 3 or 4 years, they're like, listen, Jimmy, if someone's going to give you a contract, you play as long as you can. Yeah. Don't think you're ready to retire, because when it's over, it's over. Yeah. And there's nothing like playing in the NHL.
Yeah, I could imagine.
You know, Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA.
Did you have any major injuries?
Yeah. I mean, I had my right shoulder in '94. I was back in 7 weeks, and then my labrum done. Yep.
Was that because you checked somebody? Or
I got checked, yeah. Labrum done. All the teeth are fake, you know.
Did you get any fights? Were you
like
a Wayne Gretzky type? Like where
I was in between.
Got it.
In between, yeah. So I played with some of the toughest guys.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Dude, I can imagine. Matt Johnson, one of my best friends, man. He'd be like, hey, Jimmy, before the game, I'm feeling pretty good tonight. You could do whatever you want out there. So I'd go stir it up, he'd come in and fight. Yeah. Those guys are a different beast.
They just needed to fight.
Yeah, those guys are a different beast.
It's like my buddy they just have to fight.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, and it's hockey's changed a lot. There's still that aspect, but it's those guys.
So what was your game? Were you if you could pick in basketball terms, were you like a point guard? Were you like a swing guard? Like when you say center, what's the job of a center for anyone that's watching?
Yeah. So early on in my career, I was more of an offensive player. My whole life was, the top offensive player. Yeah. In the minor leagues, top offensive player. Yeah. And I used to get called up for the power play and all that. And early in my career, but I could do a little bit of both. I was a good penalty killer. I was an all-around player.
Okay, got it.
So
you're very valuable.
Yeah. But I could do a little bit of everything very well and reliable.
Understood.
And then the reason why I lasted so long is when you have success early on in your career, you're on championship-winning teams. And if you're, a good team guy and you could do a little bit of everything. They knew they'd put
you understand how to win.
Yeah, and if I was on the third or fourth line, I wasn't going to complain. But if someone got hurt on the first two lines,
boom,
I was a reliable fill-in for that.
Amazing. Amazing.
It just again, it goes back to just doing it. I love being on a team. Yeah. And playing.
Dave, did you want to fill in some spots?
With you mentioned injuries, Jim, with the teeth. By the way, I couldn't tell. Tua.
He's got some nice teeth.
Well, he does have some nice teeth.
Does.
Thank you.
Tua really nice teeth. Right?
Jim Dowd has some nice teeth.
Tua, you saw, he gets knocked out, right? You never hear about injury. Hockey players, right? Yeah. And playing through injuries and stuff like that, but nobody ever talks about concussion protocol or anything like that with the NHL. It's all over the place with the NFL. Nobody's talking about with the NHL though. Like, what is?
Are you trying to start a fight?
I am trying to start a fight a little bit. Yeah.
So you're asking. So you're asking about the concussion.
John Springs circling like a shark.
Yeah, right.
He's ready to fight. He's ready to pounce.
So you're asking about the concussion protocol with the NHL?
Yeah,
it's there.
Like, is it a thing? Like,
oh yeah. I mean, now you get your little bump. They got to take you in the back room.
Actually, no. Can I play with that question? Yeah. Is there players in retirement that didn't get right treatment because of it that are now struggling?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, 100%. It's all kept quiet.
Got it. Okay, there you go.
There's been lawsuits left and right. It's all kept quiet.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah, you know what? And
did you get any concussions along the way? Were you?
Yeah, I'm sure I did. I remember seeing silver sparkles and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I literally played with guys. I mean, they come back to the bench. They don't even know what period is. Second period, they sit a couple shifts. They keep playing. Yeah. They're fine. They don't miss any more games. Yeah. And I think people, it's still not totally understood, right?
Yeah.
In the medical world.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. So Jim, I know you're on a mission now. Talk to all the people about what you have going on. You speak publicly about a product that you believe in, and you have my whole office on it.
track you guys through this whole process.
I'm scared of that. By the way.
Yeah. Hey, lucky 15. I'm the 15th person. I'm gonna get you healthy.
Do you want to share to the group what this is? How they can reach out to you? How they can get in touch with you?
So bottom line is my two passions are nutrition and hockey. I mean hockey obviously because that's what I've done and everybody knows me, Jim Dowd, the hockey player, and nutrition because that's what resurrected my career.
Yeah.
So got involved in a company 8 years ago, called ID Life, Individually Designed Life. So, we have the world's first ever truly customized vitamin platform, your DNA profile to go along with it. It's like a roadmap for you. Nobody else.
Roadmap.
We have a detox box, which your whole office is starting here shortly.
Ready for that.
People start with the detox. It's not a cleanse. I got to tell
cleanse.
you, people, it's not a cleanse.
What's the difference? So they know.
Cleanse, one of those cleanses, you do all this wacky stuff for 3, 5, 7 days. You're in the bathroom left, right. It takes out all the bad and all the good. You feel good for a little bit, but then you're right back to square one.
Got it.
This is a 30-day scientifically proven detox box, designed by Dr. Matt Chalmers, who's amazing.
Yeah.
It flushes the kidneys and bowels, detoxifies the liver, restores the gut, and it's It's recommended quarterly. You can do it as much as you want. I'm on my 4th one. I'm doing it every month. It's amazing.
What do we have? A 30-day program?
Yeah, your 30-day program. Yeah. Basically, it's a simple program. You just take pills in the morning, pills at night.
Yeah. Can you eat potato chips still?
Yeah, once in a while. It's recommended.
What about hot dogs?
Listen, it's recommended that you don't do that every day.
Can you,
but
listen,
I don't. No, I'm in all honesty.
But I don't have mustard and ketchup. Can I still have hot dogs and onion rings?
Yeah, it depends on what kind of hot dogs. All beef is okay.
Okay.
But yeah, it's again
pasta with meatballs.
Yeah, that's all right.
All
yeah,
right.
yeah. Right. But there's a whole
Kit Kats and Twix.
Kit Kats,
it's a big one, folks. That's a big
Twix. I don't know about Twix. I would stay away from any of that stuff.
Okay, got it.
If I told you what's in that stuff, what's made with that
I
stuff,
don't want to know. I don't want to know.
No, but you don't have to drastically change anything. Obviously, you can have a couple drinks here and there. But we'll go over. I think we're having a team meeting next Tuesday here to go over all this.
Yeah, because I'm gone next Thursday, Friday. So Tuesday.
But no, it's amazing. This is what I do. I love it.
Awesome.
I speak all over the place.
How do they get in touch with you,
So yeah, you can email me at jimdowd@me.com.
By the way, we'll put it in the link below as well for you folks.
If you want any information on that, jimdowd@me.com. And I just got certified in performance and mindset coaching as well.
Did you really?
Yeah. So I got a website coming shortly.
Do you have a book?
JimDowd@me.com will be coming shortly.
And when you say coaching, what is
a certified axiology?
Do you have a program?
I got a program. I'm a certified axiology practitioner.
Dude,
axiology is the study of values.
Study of values.
Yep. So I'll be working with all types of
That's amazing.
Athletes from all walks of life.
That's amazing.
Your employees. We'll talk about that when the time is right.
Do you have access to NHL players and
I will. I'm gonna.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it goes hand in hand. There's 3 parts to it. There's the performance mindset. There's the physical part, which is the training, which I already do that, and the nutrition part, which I already have.
Tripartite division. Yeah. 3-legged stool.
Yep.
So, just curious, is there like a pension plan for the NHL?
Yes.
Do you get a retirement plan?
Yep.
And is there also like an alumni where you guys kind of get together and do
there's
business
an
with each
alumni
other?
association.
That's awesome.
Yep. Just
Good
like all pro sports leagues. Yep.
But it's like a secret brotherhood, though, right?
Yeah.
You guys do some secret things.
It's like the elitist in the world right now. It's the same.
Is it like the Bilderberg group and the Illuminati?
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's a group of them and there's a group of the regulars.
Who's your favorite? Because there could be more than one. So if you want to name a couple, who's your favorite relationships in hockey? Like your when you think of the people you met in hockey and some of the guys you played with.
Ah man, I played with so many. You know what I mean? It's like,
and we don't want to leave anybody out, but
Scotty Gomez is great, man. I played with him. My second go around with the Devils, he's just a great guy all around.
Him.
And a couple of my guys that we battled in the minors together and played with, and then eventually get up to the NHL.
So they made it too. Some of those guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's great. That's awesome.
I mean, the list goes on and on. Like I said, I played for 10 teams, 17 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to leave anybody out, but it's.
But the Devils was your favorite organization?
Actually, yes, because I'm born and raised here. But listen to this. I loved playing for the Montreal Canadiens.
No, why? Obviously, they're a great organization.
Listen, it's original. It's like playing for the New York Yankees.
Got it.
And by the way, I hate all New York sports teams since '94 when we lost to the Rangers. But it's like playing for the Yankees.
How was Messi playing against him?
Oh, great! He's one of the best of all time, man. Yeah.
When he predicted that, did you guys going bananas? Like that ain't gonna happen.
He didn't predict.
No, he said something. He said something in the newspaper. He called it.
Nah.
Did you guys? That was like a battle?
That's actually one of my. I played 7 game sevens in my career. I'm 6-1.
Wow.
And that was the only freaking one I lost.
What was that? Did that go to overtime? I forget.
No.
But it was they scored at the end.
We were winning 2.
You guys had
we were winning 2-0, and they had nothing going on.
They didn't. Yeah.
There's 3 periods in hockey, 3 20-minute periods.
Yeah.
For 38 minutes.
Yep.
For 38 and a half minutes with a minute and a half left in the second period. They absolutely had nothing going on. There's a turnover.
And you're up 2-0.
There was a turnover. Yep, we were up 2-0. There was a turnover by our bench. They move it up to Kovalev. He goes in and scores, make it 2-1 with a minute and a half left.
Ugh.
And you
And the
could
place went
feel
the momentum.
And it was that. And that was that was in New Jersey, Game 6. And you could feel our team.
Oh.
You could feel our team, and it was like we were done.
Wow.
And they came out.
You knew.
And oh,
what happened in the third period that game?
We just. You know how sports goes.
Yeah, moment. Like, what was the final score?
It ended up 4-2.
But then what happened?
It was 3-2.
But wasn't Game 7 tight though?
Yeah, and then Game 7 was incredible. So we regroup. We go to the Garden for Game 7.
Yeah.
They're winning. We tie it with 0.9 seconds.
Yeah,
left.
I remember that.
Yep, and then we lose in double overtime.
It was overtime.
Yeah.
Who scored the overtime goal?
That was Matteau. Yeah.
Now, did you guys have any good shots in overtime?
Yeah, but that game.
But he was playing crazy too, right?
Flip a coin. Yeah, both goalies are great, but that was some people call that one of the best series
John's
ever.
a Devils fan, but I'm a Devil. He's a Rangers fan. Yeah, there's a one. I'm a Devils fan. We got 3, right?
Yeah. He'll be miserable in another month and a half.
So Jim, I want to thank you so much for coming in today, brother.
It's a
being
pleasure,
part of our
man.
world. Really appreciate it. What an unbelievable story and journey. I'm excited to help out any way I can. And for all the folks that are out there, definitely connect with Jim. We'll put his link in there. If you have any questions, always ask questions at the bottom. And if there's any other videos you want us to do with Jim, let us know. We'd love to be able to do it and just be able to continue to serve and contribute.
Great.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, man.
Thanks, Tim.
All right, man.
Appreciate you, brother.